What's up, amigos? Welcome to GoldUp. Today I'm going to be presenting the brand that I'm currently launching here in my city. Well, amigos, like I mentioned in my last video, I'm in the process of launching my own clothing brand here locally in my city. And for me, I think it's a good way to make money, print your own shirts and sell them. But the only bad thing about for me is I'm not that creative of coming up with my own designs. But luckily there are some websites online where you go through a lot of shirt designs and you buy them, and they'll give you, basically, how do you say, like a license, so you could do whatever you want with it, print shirts, posters, whatever. So I decided to go that route. But at the same time, I kind of do want my shirts to have a name behind it, like its own brand. So that's what I decided to think about, what can I name my brand. And in that process, I kind of told myself that I do want like a physical location. Like I know right now it ain't gonna be possible, but later on. But I still had that in mind as well. For me, another thing that I want to do here in my city is I want to open a skate shop, because here there's no skate shops at all. But I'm starting to see, little by little, kids, teenagers with the skateboards. But to invest in skateboarding, inventory is real expensive. But for me, I think it'll be a lot easier, having a clothing store, and as it's slowly building up, start investing in that. So that day at work, I started brainstorming through names, like what could be a good name for my clothing brand that could later on, go into, a physical location that will hopefully one day I could turn into a skate shop. And the name I came up with was El Lugar, because I liked it. Those who don't know Spanish, it just means the place. So this is gonna be the place to get your gear, your shirts, and hopefully later on, more stuff. And once I got that name, I started Googling it, make sure there's no brand out there that had that name, at least a clothing brand. Luckily, I didn't find one that I want, checking on Facebook, Instagram, all those social media, trying to find if there was anything similar to it, and I couldn't. So later that night, I got an illustrator and I tried to come up with the logo for it. Didn't take me that long, and the logo came up with was this very simple. Here, El Lugar. And I just wrote this for like a small logo. That way, later on, if I do like print something for something like small, I could just put the logo instead of the entire name. And while I was coming up with the design, the logo, that was also on Facebook. I made a Facebook page, make sure it was the same name. Instagram and Twitter, even though I never used Twitter, but I just got it anyways. As well, the domain, they're all the same. But for those who are just starting a brand or think of starting a brand, when you ever come up with a name, make sure you get the domain, man. Even though you might not use it right away, but just get it, man. Because the last thing you want to do is, start a clothing brand or any kind of business. You start getting big, and all of a sudden you go to buy a domain and it's already taken. So yeah. And as well, some people might see that you're growing and they'll check and they'll see that you haven't bought the domain and they'll buy it from you to try to resell it to you. So yeah, so it's always good to think ahead. But anyways, I finally got it done exposing the screens that I need to print some shirts. You saw on my video yesterday, I think it was yesterday, it was yesterday, but I don't know when I'm gonna upload this. But anyways, I was messing around with the new emotion. It took me a while to figure it out. After I did those whole, the exposure calculator, I thought I had it. I exposed two screens. Two screens came okay, but one didn't come out right. And actually reclaimed it that same night. And luckily, this emulsion that I bought from Octopus, I bought the emulsion remover from Mexico. My first trip to Mexico City, where I went with Don Armando. I forgot, I was like around like 55, 65 pesos. With the Sanchez, doesn't really work that well. Kind of works the same as the bleach. So I stopped using it. But for this emulsion with the Diazo, oh man, it works like magic, man. So it's gonna save me time reclaiming screens. So I'm glad I switched emulsions. But anyways, today I began to expose the rest of the screens. I had some issues as well because I was trying to figure out the time. And at the end, I actually ended up giving it 100 seconds for white mesh and 100 seconds for yellow as well. So both of them came out. Both of them I used the same time. But I realized that I was struggling more today because I would hit it with the water and hit it with the power washer right away. But I realized that it was better, to let the emotionally soak in water for a moment, then hit it with the pressure washer. And so now I know what to do. So next time I'll move a lot faster. But anyways, here are the designs. I mean, here are the screens. This one, you know, the logo for the shirt. Here we go. And I'm actually gonna print this in the back of the shirt. This is something that I'm gonna try to go in locally. I have not seen this here in my city. Even when this was popular, this, you know, when everything was going around straight up, you know, wherever. Never saw one here locally, so I'm gonna try push it out there. Hopefully it sells. Yeah, so this is where I live. Okay, this is my city. And these 3 designs, they're from the pack that I bought online. They're all gonna be one color. Got this one. I can put this on kind of like a grayish color shirt. I got this one. This is the style I like, man. I like this guy's style. See that? Same thing with this one. The guy throwing flowers, you know, flowers inside. This one's gonna print on a woman's shirt. This one, I'm gonna throw on black shirts. Now this is gonna be yellow ink on a black shirts. I kind of do need underbase, but I'm gonna do it without underbase. I'm just gonna do straight up yellow and a black shirt. I'm gonna follow the guy from Fresno, the guy I'm doing his designs for. That when he sends me designs and I, you know, fix them up or color separate them, he tells me that he doesn't use it underbase for none of his color shirts. So I was surprised. He tells me that for him, you know, it's less work, but still comes out the same. So I'm gonna try it that way to see how it comes out. And last but not least, I made this for, wait, you're looking upside down. It's gonna be the, let's say, the back print, the collar shirt in the back. Because I'm gonna rip the tags out and put this to make it look more, you know, more like, how do you say it, authentic. So yeah, so I'm gonna start loading the screens. I'll see where I go from here. Okay, we go. So I'm first gonna start printing with the straight out of Iguana. Now these are aluminum screens. They're flat. Well, in this press, it's crap, man. Horrible, horrible, horrible. It does not have any off contact. Now before I will use this right here. I'll place that right here on the press, and that will kind of make some on contact with the screens. And since the wood screens, most of them were all warped, I had no issues. Now with these ones, it's not completely level. I mean, it really hits the palette. But if I use this, now if I will use this, the one I used before, it's too much. It actually lifts the screen way up. So I have to make a little jig. I put 2 pieces of, actually a broken ruler. Actually, it's a one broken ruler and another aluminum ruler. I use that in off contact. Just give me this in amount. So yeah, I thought I was recording, but I just did my first test print. Right here. I'm actually using, I think I mentioned, I don't know if I can remember if I did or not, I'm using the white ink that I bought in Graficolor. It's the first test print. And I'm doing another one. Oh wait. I was gonna dry, flash it. This one came out nicer. I think I got a bug in there. Okay, let me bring it close. Element, I do have some pinholes. I can tell. A pinhole right there. What a chain. I'll color right now. Before I forget. Alright, now I'm gonna cure this shirt. And I could be using the flash, but I know I'm not gonna be doing these few shirts. I'm gonna do more, but I'm not gonna be doing the straight up content. I'm not gonna be doing, I think, 4. So there's no point of turning that flash. And I can use the heat press as well, but I have the heat press right here and it has a jump on top. I don't want to deal with, you know, rearranging everything. So right, we're going to define the cure. Actually, I'm going to put you guys closer so I can see. You guys can see all the smoke. It scares a lot of people. Careful, careful, careful. I gotta say, I love this white. Way better than Sanchez, man. Whenever I go back to Mexico or whenever Durometer goes back, I'm gonna tell him to buy me some more of this ink. Well, amigos, this is the day after I was doing the prints. I didn't really finish that video. I took longer yesterday than I expected. You know, trying to figure out the times for my screens. That took a while. I had to clean the palette because it was real dirty. Trying to figure out a way to adjust the off contact of my aluminum screens, because with the wood screens I had no problem because they were all warped anyways, but since these are more straight, you know, I had to make sure that the off contact was okay. And so I was only able to print this shirt, the, you know, straight out of Iguala. I actually forgot how many shirts I printed. I think it was like 5 shirts, 5 or 6, can't remember exactly, but that's okay. I know I won't be able to print the rest of the shirts today as well. I'm gonna be busy. I got home later than expected from work, but no rush because I'm actually thinking of, you know, I think I already mentioned it, where I'm planning to put in my own tag here on the collar. I already have the screen, but I need to make a palette for it as well. I do want to add those hang tags to the shirts. I actually told Armando, because he was going to go to Mexico City. And over there, they're a lot cheaper. They're just business cards, but over there, they're like cheap. They're 80 pesos for a pack of 1,000 business cards for color in the front and black and white in the back. But I guess there was a problem when he sent the email. I guess he didn't really send the email and they never received it. So those tags weren't ready. I was actually going to supposed to pick them up today, but they weren't ready. But he told me that next week, this week that's coming up, he's going to go to Mexico City again. So that's okay, and I'm not rushed because I still need to get the rest of the shirts, the designs printed. And since he's gonna go over there, I might actually tell him to give me more materials, because since I realized with this straight out of Iguala, I made the design 12 inches long, and my squeegees, they're not that long. Luckily, I had this wood string that last time a viewer sent me from my Amazon wish list. This saying it was long enough for it, but I only have one. So maybe I will actually tell him to buy me a larger squeegee, aluminum squeegee, when he goes to Mexico City, because I'm going to need that. It's going to come in handy because I do want to do big prints. You know, I got kind of inspired from the guy from Fresno, nothing but, you know, using film started by 19. So I'm going to try to go that way. So yeah, so pretty much it for today's video. I wish I could have been more detailed, but you know, I was working, you know, kind of a fast pace, and I knew that if I was trying to make everything in one video with all the prints, it was going to take me a long time, especially to edit it. I don't edit a long video. I don't want to make a video more like half an hour. So I think it'll be easier to make it into parts. So basically it's going to be part 1. I don't know it's going to be what else, the rest of the parts. But right now I'm actually going to work on making the palette for the collar, because I don't want to be printing today because it's currently late. I got home later than expected from work. And I got to work on designs. You know, they already paid for them, so I got to work on them. So yeah, so in the meantime, amigos, I'll catch you guys in the next part.